Dude, that is cranking in my headphones.
Same. I freaking
Same
love it,
here,
dude. I'm like, I probably should turn it down, but I'm like, no, I do not want to be able to hear more, please, sir. More.
There you go. What is up, folks? It is Friday night, 7:30. Y'all know what that means. It is time for the Panhandle Fishing Report. I'm your host, Smitty, with Smitty Surf Fishing, and with me always is my co-host.
What's up, everybody? It is Demo from Finding Demo Surf Fishing Podcast. We have a packed full episode tonight, so if you don't already have a notepad next to you, this would be the opportune time to go get it, because this is about to get real.
Yeah, go out and find you a stenographer somewhere or whatever that can freehand, fast type, whatever, because it's going to be a good show and you're going to want these notes. Facebook user,
we got a whole lot going on here. All right, what do we got? Hey, good evening to you.
What's going on, buddy?
Brett, how are you? The East Coast is here in the house representing. Nice. Tony, good evening to you. Well, good evening
Brad.
to you, Mr. Brad. Hello.
I was getting tired, but it's time to rage. Absolutely. That's why we put that music on. And that's what Brian and I listen to. So we
don't know who you all are here with these little ones. So we're just going to show your comments. So whoever you were, come on over.
Yo.
Tom, hey, buddy. Good evening.
What's up?
Deerfield.
What is up, fellas?
Wow. Wawa? I like Wawa. I wish we had a Wawa up here, dude.
Wawa coffee would be awesome. Down here. We're down here. We're in the South.
What up, guys? What up to you, Bruce? How you doing up there? Hope you're doing well.
Bruce, I like the explanation of your logo there that you did. I was kind of confused at first, but then when you explained it, I was like, oh, it makes total sense. The pompano with the 15, because that was your first pompano at 15 inches. So not a bad first pompano. I will say that.
Yep. Dang, you guys are just beating us up here. It is awesome. All right, Dylan. Dude, Dylan, where are you nowadays? I wonder if you're still back. Good to see you, man. Donnie.
What is up? Somebody mentioned matching hats. Yeah, that was
accidental as usual.
Accidental. Yeah. I came in on camera and I look over at Brian. I'm like, hey, nice lid there, man.
Yeah. And then there's the other one. Oh, hey. Rob is moving to YouTube. Okay, so it's Rob. Jason, good. Back up here. What up? Hello to you, Carl.
Hello, Carl.
Hello, Governor. Jason, how are you? You going out in the yaks? Because that one thing that was gonna. Okay, cool. You're at home. Good stuff. That one thing that we're not supposed to talk about that was caught. So I'm wondering if you're getting out in the yak. White Lightning 100 proof. Oh, going to the Mooney Shine. I like it.
Nice. We're
at the house, not back. Got you.
Not back.
I got you.
Gotcha. Got you. I know what you're saying. It's code. It's Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to all of you veterans out there who are following us and watching us. And in honor of Veterans Day, I'm drinking Warrior Whiskey tonight. Actually, I'm almost out. I need to get another bottle. Warrior Whiskey. It is made by Steamboat Springs Distillery out in Colorado. And the cool thing, they make a bunch of spirits. But the cool thing about the Warrior Whiskey, and it is veteran owned and operated, but the Warrior Whiskey, portion of all the proceeds go to help veteran organizations. There's 40 plus veteran organizations that they donate to, about 100,000 so far this year that they've donated to organizations. So a portion of all the proceeds go there. So if you're looking for something that you can kind of give back in a way, go out and check it out. Warrior Whiskey. It is delicious.
And there's the link for you guys.
Oh, nice. Look at you. All over it.
And thank you for that. Appreciate you. I don't know who you are. And Smitty, happy Veterans Day to you too.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You chair, even though you're chair force, there's you still did good stuff. It's all right. I should be hungover, if we're being honest. I should be completely in a raging hangover from yesterday's Marine Corps birthday. But I had my cake and I had my little bit of whiskey and I called it a night. So
nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Couldn't rage like those young years.
Yeah, no, Rick. I don't think any of us can. Tony, you've had it. It is a good whiskey. Absolutely. It is good stuff. Yeah. As old Hank Williams said, the hangovers hurt more than they used to.
Yeah. Is he? That's the truth.
Yeah.
Well, with tonight's show, there is stuff going on still that we definitely need to mention. We had Hurricane Nicole rocking through, still hitting pieces of Florida, about to make its right turn there. And we hope and pray for all those that were affected. I'm sure we're going to hear more about the damage in the coming days, and everything is slowly coming back together. But we hope y'all recover smoothly, quickly, and safely. And I know the fishing community, if there's any anglers out there that's having some problems, the community's probably going to be there to help you. So don't be afraid to reach out. We'll be there to help.
Absolutely. Those photos are, especially the Daytona ones and stuff, are shocking. Seeing houses and stuff just kind of sliding off. So, yep. Thoughts and prayers to all those folks affected over there on the East Coast.
More comments here. Yeah, you should be. I don't know who you are. I'm sorry. Glow wrap.
I don't know if that's off of the heat shrink stuff.
I think it might be. I mean, it might. I would try it. Anything glow wise when it comes to fishing, I am oddly all about it. No, Jack, you're good. I don't know why, but I like, as you guys know, I go into the evening for fishing with Justin a lot. We like into the sunset bite. I love the glow stuff. It just works for me. I always carry a UV flashlight just for that. So I'll have to figure out what that one is. Andy Simon, good evening to you. Awesome. Hope you're doing well there.
This week's show sponsored by GI Jigs. Use code PFR. Get you a 10% discount off your purchase. GI Jigs are patented handmade jig heads, custom designed around the eye and made with unique characteristics to entice fish into reaction strikes. GI Jigs are made with the highest quality materials and attention to detail. If you guys haven't used them yet and haven't gotten them, you're missing out. I'm telling you. Ounce, half ounce, ounce and a half, the jig heads. That's just for the rain minnow. You get into the jig heads, and it's just another story. If you guys have been following us, you know we had Cap Mel J on not too long ago. He was telling us some stuff about the jigs, how they're all UV coated, things like that, how they're painted untraditionally, I guess you would say, with the darker color on the bottom and the light color on top. Trying to get that contrast and that silhouette out there to get those strikes. And the one big thing between the jig heads and the rain minnows is that eyeball that's on there. It is man, and we put them to work this weekend too, or this week.
Yeah. I mean, the nice thing, they're so universal. I mean, you can fast retrieve them in the surf, in the boat. You can slow pitch them. You can still pitch them underneath and do this. I mean, hell, you guys were doing the slow pitch there from the boat side and still crushing it. So it's such a universal use jig that you can really get after it. And I think it's a good one personally. I love them. And what color is the rain minnow?
We got a little surprise coming, Brian, that you and I will be testing on.
Oh no, I don't want to. I don't want to test anything. God, that's awesome. Jared, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. Cliff out of Old Tejas, good to see you. If you're coming up as a Facebook user, Donnie, you make a great point here. If you're watching from our personal pages, that might be why your comments aren't coming up. And we've had numerous people ask us, hey, how come I can't see all the comments? We are streaming to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different locations. So the easiest place, if you really want to get your comments in or anything like that, and you want to see a lot of them, Panhandle Fishing Report is normally your best bet. That is where we have the majority of ones. But if you're happy just watching the show, stick out where you are. We can see where you are. But the comments, again, we'll post them up as we see them, and we'll definitely go there. So
Tony, he has a variety of rain minnow colors, and you can get them. Half Hitch carries them. Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle out there in Panama City or 38 Destin area. I'm not sure if Gulf Breeze Bait. I don't think Gulf Breeze Bait and Tackle does yet. But I know there's probably some more over there. I'm thinking, forgetting about that are over in the other side of Destin area. But yeah, all great colors. I like I think it's called Mr. Glitter or something like that. Anyway, it's a silver one with glitter all over it. It just it picks up all the colors on that one. So that's a pretty good one. We were catching mangrove and trout and all sorts of stuff.
And it's not like being at a strip club where the glitter wears off.
Yeah. It
yep. Brett, for good point. Brett's got them over there at Yellowfin.
There you go. Yellowfin. Yep. Nice. Good stuff. All right. If you guys have been following us, we got a special guest with us tonight. If you like the way the show went last week, we're going to do more of that this week. This week, we're going to be talking about anything and everything in the surf. how do you target, what to do, how you transition, how long should you stay at a spot before you just give up and move, all that good stuff.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. What is up, Larry Grossman? What's happening, buddy? So if you've been following us, we got Mr. Chip Brundage with us tonight, the sinker guy. It's going to be coming on. Actually, let's go ahead and bring this down, and we'll just bring him on now. If you guys got questions, we're going to go in. We got a few questions that things we're going to talk about, but if you guys have questions, definitely post them up in the comments. We will get them to Chip. So without further ado, let's bring him on.
Chip. What's up?
What's going on, buddy? From the Sinker Guy Garage.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks for having me on, and thank you guys for serving for us. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
And everybody out there that's listening and that will
Absolutely.
listen soon. So
cheers,
everybody. I'm on a cleanse, so I'm just drinking water. But cheers.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. Well, we've let me get closer to the mic here. We've been talking offline this week about some things, and I think one of the biggest questions that just right off the bat that Brian and I we're discussing is surf fishing seems to be somewhat universal, but there are some things that you guys do over there that may not work here, and vice versa. Does that? Yeah. And you've come over here a few times to fish with us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. No, keep going. Keep going.
No. Is that what you found, or?
I have found there's a lot of great similarities, but a lot of differences. Now, pardon my French, but this piece of paper is clear full of why and hows. But the one big thing is here we have a lot more inlets. Mm-hmm. We have a lot more bait. We have a lot more access to bait. We have a lot more fresh bait. We have shrimp, crabs, fiddlers, mud crabs, speckled crabs, blue crabs, clams, coquina. Okay, we have the oysters and we have sand fleas. We have the ghost shrimp. Mm-hmm. We don't use ghost shrimp over here much because it's hard to it's work, right?
Yeah.
What the access to the bait over there? What do you got? You got the crabs. You have clams. You have huge sand fleas that most of the small fish can't eat. You still have the speckled trout, speckled. You have shrimp. We have shrimp that spawn and then they shoot out the river system here into our ocean ways, and then they sit on the ocean, out in the ocean for us. So that's one of the big things for us is we have so much fresh bait. Where over there you don't have as much fresh bait. You have more things that swim. You have more of the small fish creatures than we do over here. We have the mud minnow, we have the mullet, and we don't have all the other pins because we're farther away here in Jacksonville from the Gulf Stream, so we don't have all that. Like here, we have squid. Squid works great in Brunswick, 50 miles north of us. Jacksonville, they're not eating squid. I mean, the Pompano aren't eating squid, but you go down Melbourne, love squid. Squid is dynamite. Pompano, they'll eat the heck out of the squid down there.
Really? Every time I use squid here, it's either catfish or rays.
It's always a ray for me.
It's always a ray. Yeah.
Jared, we're talking about Jacksonville. Chip's out of the Jacksonville area. He's out of the east coast of Florida, and he'll talk a lot about that side. And then our side, we're over in the Panhandle. We're close to Pensacola and those areas.
Yes, sir. Hey, Mark. So there's a lot of great differences, but the big difference is if I went to Publix and got shrimp, and I went fishing here,
no,
it's just one of those things where I tried it when I first got here, and a lot of people try it when they get here, because that's where you think you can get shrimp at Walmart. You can go get that shrimp. It don't work. Academy, it doesn't work. You can get all that stuff, but we have so much fresh bait here that they're not going to eat a bunch of rotten stuff here. The pompano, the whiting, the black drum, the redfish, the trout. Obviously, we're catching more trout, just like you guys in the surf, but also a lot of that on live shrimp.
We don't get
speckled trout here.
We don't get them in the surf. They do.
Alabama does. Yeah, Alabama gets them, but we don't get them over here.
Yeah, we're not.
I wish we did.
That'd be badass.
Yeah.
I would love those days like
fun.
that. I wouldn't be sad at all. Jeff, we will get to your question. It is absolutely going to happen, and you'll see these things bump through here. We will interrupt once in a while on these on pauses. So if you guys got questions, keep them coming. We'll scroll back into them. And then Chip, why not? I already pulled it up. What are your thoughts here?
Primarily the Pompano rigs in Carolina. Just wondering if you switch it up. Yeah, absolutely. There is a difference in there's difference in what you're working on. I mean, if you're using a jig, if you're going to jig a Pompano jig, if you're going to throw at holes, you're going to probably use that Carolina. If you're going to set that set rig, now we have two rigs with a double dropper, a single dropper, and then I like it's called the river rig, but I'm not going to grab it, but it's got it's right there. But
I know.
what it is you have one. It's just a single drop. Has a single drop, and then below it's a loose line, just like a Carolina rig. So that's a phenomenal rig. When the whiting starts showing up, watch out. I'll be hammering whiting because I'll put a sand flea on the bottom, and it'll just move just like you want it to, and then the top will be suspended like a single drop. So I'm still Pompano fishing with a high rig, but then I don't have a low rig. My low rig is just floating in the wind. So there's different styles, and that one, Joe Moore, they use it in the Carolinas a lot. It's dynamite for whiting. I don't have as much luck with Pompano on it, and there's a couple reasons for that. I'm not really fishing it during Pompano time. I'm really fishing a lot of crab knuckles, lots of bigger baits for bigger Pompano. I'm not really looking for those small Pompano. I'm looking for those 15, 16s to 20 inchers. One 15-inch fish is 3 12-inch fish. So we're trying to catch a little bit bigger fish. I know that we come over there. Let's go. Let's get back to the real topic. The real question.
Sorry.
What was the first one?
Sorry.
What was the first one?
I won't pop them up anymore. I'll keep tracking.
Oh,
my bad.
So where do you sit? Where do you choose? Right.
Yeah.
Well, over here, you have to look at the waves and you have to read the runouts. Well, when we go over there, we can see them. So when we were there, we saw the waves come in, or the sandbar come in closer, and those Pompano are going to go right through that little cut that's closest to the beach, and then it's going to spread out. And when we fished over there, we sat on the bigger area. We spread out because we had, I don't know, 20 rods out. There was 5 of us, 6 of us. Well, we had to cover some ground. Well, if there was a Pompano run through there, it didn't have a shot. It was going to eat one of our baits, but it had to run through there. So I knew that little funnel was going to funnel fish sometime, but they had to get by these 2 guys that were sitting in the middle of the funnel. Well, I'm like, if they come over the sandbar for some reason, I'm going to sit there. So we sat for about 2 hours, and I had a great time sitting there, but I like catching fish, and catching fish is more fun than just hanging out. But hanging out when you're catching fish is really fun. So here, if you're not catching fish in 15 or 20 minutes, we're going to try to go find another spot, especially Pompano. Pompano. This is. I shouldn't share this, but I'm going to. Pompano. If all of you don't know this,
I told you, bring a pin.
Pompano mark their bait.
Mark their bait.
They mark their bait. So throughout the whole migration, the Pompano will run down. We have these big Pompano, these big monster Pompano going down first. They're coming through here first. They're going to mark where all the bait is, and then we have the other fish traveling behind them. And what are they looking for? They're looking for marks from the other fish. So Pompano mark their bait. So if there's a big school of sand fleas, they're going to mark it. The next group of fish, when they're running down the beach, can find that. Okay, you guys will have to do more research on that. Not a lie. Oh. That's true. So it's a prime example of when you are in the spot. You're in the spot. You're not in the spot. They mark the Pompano just are always already there. They're there. No, the spot's marked. the other pompano marked it for you. So just cast it back there. That's why it's so important over here when we know that where they're marked, or they say throw it in the same spot. That's the real throw it in the same spot. Well, if you're catching them, throw it in the same spot means, well, they're going to go back through there. If it's a super highway they're running through, or if they're marked. So when they're schooling before they cross the river system here, they don't want to go through deep water, so they school up before they cross any river system. So they'll go from jetty to jetty, big rock structure, pier to the rock structure, and work back and forth until they have to go to the next side. Well, you guys don't have a lot of that. They just run down the beach to the pier, right? So we have in between every one of our piers, we have an inlet, typically all the way for 300 miles or almost 400 miles on this coast, from all the way from here to Canaveral. There's all of these inlets and jetties and rockways where these fish can eat, right? So there, when we know they're marked, we know the fish are marked, we're going to try to find the marks. And if you sit there, they're not marked. If you can't find them, the fish haven't marked. So you have to move around a little bit. So I moved, when I was there the last time, I moved 100 yards, sat next to the guy that caught the winning fish. Well, you know what I did? I said, well, if they're going to swim this way, well, I'm going to catch him before that guy. So I sat on the other side of him.
Yeah.
I had no luck. Sat there for 30 minutes, and I sent it. And I'm 160, 170 out. I mean, I'm on the other side of the bar, and I was everywhere, and just trying to find where I could just find the fish, because I could see here you can't see it. You just have to feel it. There you can see where the run out. You can see the super highway. You can see the water, the happy water.
Yeah.
Well, down on my left-hand side, I saw dark water. I don't know what that is. It's like you don't ever see anything that clear like over here. So I went and I said, I don't know what that is. But it's something better than sitting right here for 30 minutes. So
could be a deep hole.
Well, I thought it was. I really did. I thought it was a big deep hole. I didn't know. Yeah. Well, we start fishing it. First cast, there was a little backside little hole. Whoop, 120, 130 out. Rod holder, boom, fish on.
Nice.
Second rod, I don't even know what's going. My second rod, I put on the front side because I'm like, well, I don't know where they're at. Bruno rig, boom, that one's on. So now I've got two fish. I cast my other one way far again because it's working, but they were marked. That area was marked. It had bait. It was holding fish. It was amazing fishery. Right, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's see, the marking part of that whole conversation is aggravating, because all I remember was that one section, 4 rods. That's all it could take. In those 4 little rods right there was the hot spot. If you went one left, you were out. You went one right, you were out. You maybe got an errant one that was like, I got lost on the trail. You went 2 and 3, 2 and 4. You were done. You were not catching. It was that one sector and that one sector only.
Yeah, and I apologize for not telling you before that, Brian.
Why would you apologize?
Yeah, I feel so bad about that, Brian.
I mean, if anybody gets the apology,
reeling in fish.
See, that's where it was. No, the only person that gets the apology is poor Justin, because he's here now too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, losing his permit and somebody else catching his permit.
Yeah.
With his rig, but
Justin,
he got his rig.
You made my life, man. You made my life. I mean, thank you for fishing a pink float. I brought these on just for you today, pink and white, just for you, man. I love you. I only fish these when it gets a little colder, but I was able to. If you guys didn't know, Justin wrote a heck of a story on catching his and releasing his first permit onto my line. But you guys can go look at his story. It was awesome. But the real question is what were we catching them on? And so that was the next story is, we know shrimp works. We know clams don't really work over there, right?
No.
Right.
Not really, right?
No.
But there's coquina clams in the surf. They might be plentiful. They might eat too much of it. We know where we were at. There was crabs. Must have been crabs in the general vicinity. There was a lot of bait. there was enough food there, but that is what we were using. That was on fire. The shrimp wasn't really working right when we got there. It started to work later after we put it in the right spot. They knew where the food was. So Dustin was able to pull in some permit. Barry got himself one. I got myself one. We had a great picture, and everybody got into catching a bunch of fish that day. But the marking now, Brian, you understand where it's not necessarily a hole, but when you hit that spot, it was money. It was on. And so that being said, is what were we throwing? And that was the next thing. Is I was throwing naked morticians, which is just a bare hook with crab knuckle, and then wrong place. Where am I at? Which is the mortician rig. Shameless plug.
There you go.
But
hey, it's all good, man.
And then I moved all my stuff today.
And we will get to your questions, everybody. Keep them coming.
We did. And then the Bruno rig. The Bruno rig has a new package, but the orange and yellow with the crab knuckle. And I always doubted this rig when I went over there, because everybody makes a fluorocarbon rig, right? And they fish big floats, and I'll get to that too. But watching live,
that's one of our local
it's one of our favorite places right down the street. Well, good evening to Stripes. Hey, y'all.
I need to go. I need to go there next time.
Yeah, next time you come in, we need to go to that one. That's one we haven't hit yet with you.
Or if you guys need a space to stay, Blue Chair Beach House. That's that's the real thing right there. So anyway,
I'm in.
All right.
So the Bruno rig has got small floats. It's got a 2-aught hook. It's 25-pound mono. No, you can't catch fish over there. That's what my own thought. Dad and I went there last year. We just hammered whiting, caught a bunch of pompano, and I'm like, well, maybe it doesn't matter. And then, and I love all the rig makers who make the great rigs, but for me, we don't have to have fluorocarbon over here. Now, there are some people that say you need to have fluorocarbon. And I'm gonna give another shameless little plug. We used to make everything with the polymer. Throw it out the door. The guy can't respond to a message. You're out. Don't even buy stuff.
I remember that conversation.
Right.
Yeah, get out of here, man. Tried to help him out, and then he can't respond to a message. Hey, I love that cup too. I just drank out of it today. But I've been using this Vanish Easy Cast. Holds a little bit better. It's a little thicker. I use 20. Okay, so all of my recent catches have been on the 20-pound of the Easy Cast. You can get it at Walmart. You can. We'll have it in house also, but I'm not. We won't have it for a while. We'll have it because guess what?
You bought them all.
I use it. No, I use it.
Okay.
That's the only reason.
Because normally I was like, hey, how come I can't get those little pill floats? You're like, that's because I bought them all. I was like, that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, I only buy them. I think I bought 45 or 50,000 at a time.
Yeah.
You know, it's
well
hard
played, sir. Well played.
Yeah. I'm in the hook game too, so I think we've went through about 35,000 hooks this year, and you can't get them for a better price than we have them, and they are super sharp, and we'll talk about that too. Naked. We were talking about naked, and when we fished it all naked over there, or Bruno, Brian, what did you catch yours on?
Mine were on the danglers.
On the dangler, okay. The dangler looked.
Yeah, it was a dangler, mortician dangler. One on green get 'em. Oh gosh, I can barely remember, but I remember the dangler and the green.
Hey, you guys give me a hard time about pink. This is Justin's favorite color. That's why I have my cup up today, Justin. We love you, man. We love you.
Mike is
Have you seen my shirts?
Yeah.
Mike runs the old salmon color.
That's right.
So you see that? You guys might not have ever seen that before, but guess what? You've seen it today. I shared it with a few people over there. That makes noise. That moves around. You put a crab knuckle, you put a clam, you put a fish bite on there. Whatever it's moving. It gets attention. Just so you know, that's called the dangler. AKA, it's also been called the pigtail.
Yeah, I like
pigtail.
I kind of like the dangler. It sounds more inappropriate.
I like the dangler. Inappropriate.
The dangler.
It gets people's attentions when you say the dangler.
But the
on the dangler, is it snelled on there, or if someone Are you selling those, first of all?
No, we're not selling them.
Not yet.
We just have the beads. They are tedious. I recorded the video today.
So you got to figure out how to dangle your own, is what you're telling me.
It's just
I've got a video. So the best thing about being retired from coaching is I had two guys that were retired at my house at noon today, and we recorded a video. It was awesome. Wendell and my buddy Bob Ruther. So we just talked fishing. But there's another dangler. That's the dangler. That dangler is on fire. That
orange bottom is the one that always works for me, because if you're going after pompano with the sand fleas for the eggs, especially on a clear day, the orange has a tendency to just be like, oh, hey, I'm right here. Come eat me.
All right. Let's take a break real quick while you're right there.
And there's one more. Just a little bit different.
The green.
So
nice.
Yeah. We're going to come back with why pills, why big floats. Why
absolutely. Floats. All right. So, Brian, have you been writing down the questions?
I got it in the scroll. I'm good here. So we'll start right from the top. So, Jeff, we already got you on that one. Running through. Hi, Bambi. Hope you're doing well upstairs. Tony asked, and this was backing up when we were talking about that rig. Where is the weight being held on that other rig? And that was
on the river rig.
On the river rig.
It's held mid. So it's actually one line. You tie a hook on this end, you tie a hook on this end, and you make two drops. One halfway down, you're going to make an overhand knot, and that goes to the top. And then the bottom, you make a overhand knot, and the sinker goes on the overhand knot. I'll show it. Next question.
No problem. Andy, this one I saw, I was going to message you, but when you wanted to do fish finder rigs, a sinker would be best for keeping it rolling around. My opinion is a bank sinker. That's going to keep you rolling a lot better than like a cannonball, or, I mean, you could use a cannonball. Frog tongue's going to hold. That's just my personal opinion, but I would go with a bank. Mike?
I prefer just a round egg sinker if I'm throwing a fish finder rig.
Okay.
Toss it out there, but if I'm using a fish finder rig, typically I'm in close for whiting is when I'll throw that. Maybe occasionally I'll throw a bigger fish finder out there, but it's going to have a bigger piece of cut bait on it, and it's probably going to have a 4-ounce sinker guy Sputnik on there as well when I sling it out there, because I'm looking for a big drum.
No, that's true. Yeah, you're running that one. That was that one. Let's see here. Is there a way to artificially mark your bait? Ooh. I mean,
yes, but I'm not sharing that secret. Love you. I limited out with pompano in 13 minutes the other day.
Yeah, I remember that.
First one. That's all I got to tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, here you are, Tony.
Oh, go ahead.
Real quick. There's the one that's hanging, and the sinker goes on this one here, and Joe doesn't put any. This is all 20-pound fluorocarbon, and then the sinker goes here.
Go with the left one
on the bottom. Let's see if I can. So this one just hangs.
Nope, wrong one.
And then this one just floats around down the bottom. Oh, there we go.
Screw it.
Yeah.
See, this one's floating around on the bottom.
Yeah.
So this one's just floating. The sinker's sitting on the bottom. This is just hanging around,
doing
its thing. It's just moving around. Sinker's held right down here. And then I just have one hanging from up top.
Nice.
So that's called the river rig. Really popular for whiting. If you find the whiting, put it on. Try it. It's super easy. It's literally tie a hook on each end, drop it halfway down between the two, tie a double overhand knot. Boom. You put a figure 8 there if you wanted, but it's a double overhand, and then make a double overhand at the bottom halfway
for your weight.
You can put for your sinker. I always slip a swivel on it, because if not, it tangles up. You catch your first catfish, you just threw your $5 away, but don't make them yourself. They're not $5. Go ahead.
Aaron,
hopefully that helps.
What's the best way to find holes? My personal answer is watch the waves.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of videos out there on YouTube on how to read the beach, basically, and how to find holes and things like that. But you're really going to look for up here. You're just looking for the darker water because it stays pretty much clear. Darker water and no wave breaks. It typically will show you a hole.
Berto, good evening to you.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. When you're over here, what we see over here is you don't see the blue water. What you see is the water's flat, and then it rises when the water rises, there's the hole. I mean, that's the deepest part of the beach at that point. So the water is coming over the sandbar, and then it rises. You would think it would be less. It's got more water, so it's got to rise. So right there is the deepest spot. That's on that. I call that the super highway. I'm telling you, that's my favorite place to fish. Fish run through the super highway, baby.
Absolutely.
Werner, good evening to you. Happy Veterans Day. Justin, he also uses mono, makes no difference in the surf. There you go. Uh-oh, where are you? There we go. Okay, another one. Travis Flowers.
Sorry, am I messing you
fishing.
up? Or?
No, no, your scroll doesn't mess with mine. The clicking we're fighting over the click mark.
Gotcha.
Was fishing in Fort Walton last week. Nothing biting at all. One blackfin tuna, one redfish, one palm caught. Nice. And blues. I'm glad to hear the blues are still here.
We're going to get to the pier stuff here towards the end of the show, but there's you really need to be out there right now for a specific reason.
Tony, Justin, you're about to start a big debate. Does fluorocarbon really matter? And we can plug that one. Let's do that. Let's play with that game.
Go ahead.
If fluorocarbon was see-through, why don't we use 80 pound all the time?
Because it's
done point. Done point. So we're not talking about it.
No.
Can it help? Yes. Not all fluorocarbon's not equal, and if it was see-through, we'd use bigger line.
Yep. Uncle Shane, yes. Message me after or call me this weekend. We can talk about it. But Larry Grossman does fly fishing in the surf, and if you ever come down to visit me, I'll happily take you out there. One Bruno rig at Wayne caught 14 out of 16 pompano on it. There you go, killer rig. Larry, Larry already sent you the thing. Never mind, Uncle Shane. Looks like you're already covered there. Donnie, why and where should I use the Bruno and a mortician rig? Everywhere and anywhere. Gosh. Chip, what do you got?
Yeah. My dad would say you fish it whenever you're fishing.
Yeah.
He doesn't use a mortician rig. He outfishes me. I got all the knowledge and all the things. I put him in the spot. He always outfishes me, but you still have to put it in the right spot. But you still have to have good bait, and you have to know what you're doing. But everywhere.
I agree with that, and also certain times the year over here, I will downsize my floats, and I will also make the change to beads. Because the fish aren't foraging on sand fleas anymore. And they're foraging on not beads, but clams. So that's a little tip.
Plastic. Give me the bead.
A little tip over here that as we start getting into these cooler months, you may want to start downsizing your stuff and then start switching over to beads as opposed to floats. Yes. That'll help.
And because like down south, the water's warmer, just like it is in your guys' area. The big reason they're using a big float is to keep the stuff off the ground so the crabs aren't eating it. Well, when the water gets cold, the crabs aren't as active. They're not eating your bait. So you can go away from using the big floats and scaring the fish away.
But you will still catch on big. You will still catch.
Yeah, Jim, no one's selling it. You have to tie it.
Yeah. You have to tie it. This is where our channel teaches you how to do all these things, so then you can become a better fisherman, not just buy it.
Facebook user, do you feel the same way as most of the world's population that the PB rig is the best thing since the internet?
PB rig.
What the hell's the PB rig? I mean, apparently I don't know what the internet is because I don't know what the hell damn PB rig is.
All right.
You want to pause it from there and we'll continue on? I got a mark.
Yeah,
I'm good.
All right.
8:05 is my mark, so we're good to go.
Gotcha. All right, Chip, rolling back.
Send it.
Oh, all right. So, floats versus beads. It's a great question. So, let's start this one. Big floats versus small floats. You covered it. Sand fleas, big. They're smaller earlier in the year, and then the clams, you start to get a little bit even smaller. Over here, we use the football. We really like the football floats over here too, and we carry all this stuff, but we carry it because we use it too. So these are a little bit smaller. They're just a bead, but they're floats. They're just in the bead, and then you get a little bit bigger. They make bigger ones of these. We don't really have a lot of luck here. We know they work, We don't carry the bullet floats because they don't, I mean, you can catch fish here, but I think it scares more fish away, especially over here. And I know that it works on your guys' side and it's tried and true. And I know that they work. There's 1,000 vendors for them. I'm not going to get in the game of trying to figure out what color, what speckle, does it rattle, does it not rattle, does it look good, is it one of 4 sizes? We don't use them, so yeah. We're not going to go there. But the bullet floats versus the teardrop, the reason you use those is to keep the crabs off your bait. Number one, professionals, the commercial guys will tell you that. The other thing is, if you ever look at a commercial guy's, very seldom is he using lots of colors. He uses a white a lot of times, or a yellow. And this is a little plug. I'm gonna teach some stuff here, but then you have the bead floats, and then you have the transition of how to figure all these things out, and then you have the bead versus, or the float versus the bead. Now we're getting into the beads. Now, how do I do the beads? Do I put them on the top? Which that's how I started. I started with this color. That's a magic color. I caught lots of pompano, lots of whiting with that, just on top of the hook. And then I figured out that they fit on the hook. I started putting them on the hook, started becoming dynamite. Then that transitions to different colors, different. This is number 18, but it has all the colors that you need to really attract a lot of the other fish, the reds, the yellows, the blues, the greens. They're all in one pack. But with that being said, is now how do I use these? And there's lots of ways to use beads. You can put it above. They work just great. You can put it on. Great. You can put it as the dangler. Works great. But these are all new ways that most people aren't thinking about fishing. They're just going fishing. Now, I'm not saying that don't do this. This is an educational part of this. We're trying to teach people how to get better at this event, this sport. So this gives me the better advantage. And then, do I fish double beads? Do I fish dangler and one on the hook, or how do I do it? So there's a lot of trial and error. So the commercial guys usually fish one of these on top and a naked on the bottom. If it's a sand flea and a naked on the bottom, which means just a flea, or a crab knuckle with beads on the top, and naked on the bottom. Because if they get scared of this, you can't hear it, but it's rattling. If they get scared of this, they have another option. That's big. So if you put 2 floats on, the Bruno rig has 2 floats. I know it has 2 floats. You go to every other rig out there and go, why does that have 2 floats? The commercial guys are only fishing 1 float or naked. And it doesn't matter if you're fishing on your coast or if you're fishing on our coast. They're fishing strictly with bait. Everybody else in this game is fishing because, you know what? That looked good in the bait shop. Look at that.
Absolutely.
That is beautiful.
90% of the bait is sold to fishermen, not to catch fish.
Yeah. So
I bet a fish will love that. I bet it'd be tasty.
Exactly.
Well, and the prime example is these are really pretty.
Yeah.
And they sold me.
Jokes.
How many folks have gone to Hobby Lobby or someplace like that and looked at the jewelry making section and bought beads? I know I have.
Yeah.
Anything that looks like a sand shell, a seashell, or got a bunch of those
pretty little
out in my garage.
Ties.
Now we provide stuff that on all of our beads is because we know they worked. We tested them. You can test them. Tell me which ones work. Go ahead. I mean, all in. This is 4 years of research. This isn't just like, oh, I just figured this thing out. I'm just going to put a bunch of beads on the website. So when you start to learn that, I knew there was fish in where I was fishing. I knew they were marked. I knew because I could throw a naked and I could catch fish, but they stopped biting. So what's my next step? I know the fish are there. They didn't just go away. They're marked. So I go ahead and add that because that is what's on a crab knuckle. And everybody, if you watch my video, those colors are on my crab knuckle. And I can show you a picture of it, but I should have sent you that, Smitty. But the big thing is why do I choose that color? It's because it exists in the world of fishing, and most people won't look at it and just evaluate what's in the surf and what's out there. And let me see if I can find it. It's very simple. I guess this was a long time ago. I've been catching a lot of fish since then. But if you look at that, look at the orange and blue on that crab knuckle. There's little specks of blue, and then there's a white in there. And that didn't just happen. That is just research on what my bait looks like. Because there's a little spot of orange, there's a little spot of blue that blue just happens to match, which is amazing. I mean, did I luck out to find that? Absolutely, I did. But it matches. And so there's some things that you have to do in your own research to figure out what works, what doesn't work. But I don't want to make this thing hard. I just want you to be more thinking about things. Now, can you just buy one rig, go out, fish it, have luck? Absolutely. We all know. And that was part of my process of where we go here is when we buy a rig, when you're first new, you buy a rig, you try it. Did it work or did it not work? That's the question. I didn't catch fish. Well, I don't know if it was my rig or if it wasn't the fish. Well, if it works, we choose to use it again. If it doesn't work, we can still choose to use it again, right? But we don't really know. Now, then the questions come in. Is it because it's fluorocarbon? Is the color wrong? Is the thickness of the line too much? Is the length of the snood too short? Maybe it's too long. Then we ask our friends what they're using to catch their fish on. And they're like, oh, look at this. And I think Brian and I have had some great conversations about this. And then what really happens is you fish 2 or 3 times a month. You fish for 4 months, 2 sections. You fished 8 months, 3 times a month. You fish 24 times to figure out that you really don't know anything. And then you have to start over. You go, I don't know if what worked or not. Like Smitty, this whole conversation, I go to a smaller float. This is 2 years worth of knowledge. Smitty just handed it to you. And the real question is not all of those things. And then I start over 2 years from now. Let's start by using our knowledge of everything that we've learned in this fishing adventure today. And I did it for 5 days a week for 4 to 5 years to figure it out. And that most people don't have that time. I had the time. I was lucky to be a college coach and be able to do that. But most people didn't. I was having Larry Finch. Everybody knows who Larry Finch is. He would see me. I'd have no fish in my cooler when I first started. Then I'd have 70 whiting in my cooler. And all he said was, how many pompano did you catch? I was like, I got 1. Oh, well, really, really good. You can catch 6, I'm like, well, I know, but you catch 6.
I'll take my 1. Thank you.
Yeah. So, but every time I saw Larry, he's like, oh, I caught 15 today. I'm like, you got a commercial license. You've been fishing for 35 years. I've been fishing for 6 months. So, and no one would share with us. So we're sharing. We're open book because it's so easy, but so hard to just do it.
And folks get frustrated when they go out there and then the fishing sucks and you can't catch fish here. And like, no, really, you can catch a lot of fish out here. You just have to, and Brian does it. I see him do it when he's out on the beach. I do it when I'm out on the beach. It's all about teaching folks. You see somebody doing something that's like definitely wrong, what I mean? And you go over and you say, hey, man,
shrimp.
Exactly. It's like, hey, let me show you something that may help. And just go from there. By no means do we know it all because we're always all still learning. But it's in this game, if you can help somebody out, and that's what we're all about. That's what the show's all about. That's everything is just sharing that knowledge to get it out there to everyone. So
and
great stuff.
And I think that we have some great people that make great rigs, and I'll say that. Frisky, Salty. We have a couple guys over here that make rigs. They do a good job making rigs. I'm not down on them. I just don't use them. They're great guys. Use their stuff if it works for you, right? I use the Bruno rig and the Mortician. I always throw a Bruno and I always throw a Mortician. Now, I can play with the Mortician by putting different things on it. That's the game. And so if I'm not fishing floats or not fishing beads and I'm just fishing naked, I can fish a Mortician naked. But my Bruno rig, now I will go to what I call the Bambi rig, which is a pink, pure pink with a black bead. Okay, I'm not going to tell you where the black bead comes out, but the black bead and a pink is dynamite. My wife gives it to, 5 years ago, she gave it to every woman that was on the beach. They'd outfish their husband every time. It was awesome. And their husbands they knew it all, you know.
Right.
But my wife gave him a rig. He's like, "I'll throw this on there. You'll have a little bit better luck." Oh man, she just on fire the whole time. The woman's rod was on fire, and she was all smiling. Her husband's all mad. "You got another one of those Bambi rigs?" "Yeah, we got one here." So
that's awesome.
That being the real question is, how do you make the choice?
Yeah, that is a good question.
How do you make that choice?
Trial and error.
Well,
Give it a minute.
If you don't have all the time, you go, "Hey, Brian, you have a good friend. You have people. You have other influencers. There's influencers that push stuff, good and bad.
Yeah,
and that's the truth. If you trust something, you'll have better luck at it. You go follow our YouTube channel. You go make your own, and then you trust yourself. You have a little more confidence when you go out. You make your rigs. You do that stuff. You oh, there's a rig board right there. Look at that.
I got mine in the living room.
I got mine right here.
Yeah.
It's right on the bench. So it's the belief in yourself to be able to go out there and catch fish. My brain's rattling. Great stuff.
We warned you all.
I will tell you.
We told you. We told you in the beginning.
I'll tell you whatever you want to know. You ask the question, I'll tell you. Now, except the
fish marking thing.
No. You messed up. You messed up. You opened it with, "Oh, ask me anything."
I'll tell you. You can't ask that question straight up.
Oh, all right. We're pausing. All right, tracking.
Yeah, pausing and grab some questions real quick.
All right.
The real scenario, my Mortician rig, I make it 18 inches apart. I use a 7-inch snood. 7 and 7 don't touch. Hooks don't touch because it's only 14. So I keep it at 18. So if you're using an 8-inch drop, you might get your hooks to catch. And what happens is if your hook catches, you have a de-hooker on your pompano.
Yeah.
It's hooked, whoop, then you lost your pompano because you de-hooked it with your other hook. With your top hook or your bottom hook, it unhooks the fish on you. Yeah. So if your hooks touch, you can de-hook yourself or de-hook the fish. So I use 18 inches. That means I have 4 inches. I leave an inch of play in my Mortician, so it can move back and forth. So I have at least 2 inches between hooks when they lay back down together.
Nice.
Hopefully that helps. I start with 52. Oh, why is my arm so long?
I know, right?
They go off the screen.
Well, it's only because you're ginormously tall.
Yeah, I'm too close. I use 52 inches is the start of my Mortician rig, just so you know.
If you're watching from Panhandle Surf Fishing, by the way, that is why we cannot see who you are. Panhandle Surf Fishing page is our problem page. I just found that out after I was looking. Nice. Yes, it is. Okay. And then Carl's question, you didn't get that one, I think. I'm behind you. All right. So what about sand flea color beads on a hook? Would that work? What color would you combine for that? I'll leave that up. But I already know what color you're grabbing.
Would it be in the number 18 kit, or could you do it with
pretty
those?
Close.
Would you have to,
you can't
Chip's
quite do it with 18.
Okay.
Come on. This is a brownish. It's the number 2.
That's the camo. The camo looking one. I remember that.
Yeah.
Or sorry, number 4.
And you could probably make a.
Well, you can get a lot of different colors. But,
a ghost shrimp looking.
That's what this is.
Yeah. Number 4 was gold.
With some. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. See it? Yeah. So that is now what was the question again? I'm all thrown off.
Sand flea colored beads.
Oh yeah. So we have one named Sand Flea, and then the orange is in the number 18. What color? Just match what a sand flea looks like. You got orange. You got the brown, and also I think this is called ghost shrimp, actually online, because this thing matches the ghost shrimp. And ghost shrimp, I was using Brian's ghost shrimp over there. I just ordered a new Alvey pump today. A matter of fact, the ghost shrimp.
Oh, the metal one, the big one.
Yeah.
$100
one, whatever it is, but it goes, and it's the easiest you've ever done.
I talked to Phil Hollinsworth, Salt Squatch, on his, because he was using it in the video, and I was like, "Come on, man, is it really worth the $100?" And he said, "Absolutely." Yeah. He said, "If you got it, get it." So.
Oh, that Panhandle permit, baby. That thing was delicious. I actually, when you come over, I actually have half of it left, brother. I put it in the food. I professionally food saved that thing for you. We're going to eat it together. It actually says Justin's permit on it.
Michael, you would actually make a lot of money when you can find them.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean,
if they don't get covered up, they'll get covered up quick. But,
yeah, they will.
Well,
however, if you're a diver, I got another
that
venture
one,
for you. We'll talk to you later,
I know
Michael.
what that is. Hey, Michael, I want to say this. It is really hard to throw a Sputnik off with the Mortician rig because you're using 40-pound main.
Yep.
Use 25-pound or 20-pound fluorocarbon. Buy my sinkers. I love it. Every time Larry Finch's video plays where he uses 15-pound fluorocarbon, I think there's a direct deposit of $100 out of everybody's account into mine who watched it. Because if you have a hard rod, heavy rod, and you try to throw 15-pound fluorocarbon, it snaps, and my sinker goes. And you go.
I even feel bad on the light whiting rigs that I use is 12 to 10, and I have to put a 2-ounce. That's the only time I use the 2-ounce Sputnik on for anything. Otherwise, it's 4 ounces for everything. But in rougher conditions, when I really need it to sit out there, I'll throw a 2-ounce Sinker Guy Sputnik on there and kind of lightly overhand cast it on my over the bar 10, and it works good.
And go ahead, Brian. Sorry.
The piece with throwing those things, I mean, the nice thing with the Mortician is you don't have to, I mean, you can get out there and throw a 30-40 pound mono 5-6, you can up that thing to a monster one. Your snoods, you can change it all day. I mean, if you want to use a 10-pound snood, it's going to hold up just fine. If you're getting beat up by toothy creatures, you can throw another snood on of 30-pound. The thing is so universal. Every day you can just go basically snip it off, throw another one on, and you're tying into your snoods. You can tie a ton of snoods fast. It doesn't take very long, and leaving them naked just gets you even more set up for success. You can do the whole set of snoods with dangler setups if you want. Right there. Exactly. I mean, you just walk with that. That's what's in my bag. And then I've got my beads and I've got my floats. And if I need to move stuff on there, I do it right there. So the Mortician rig is really simple for that method. But if you're overthinking it and you're like, oh, I got to do this, you don't. I mean, you can use whatever you want, like you said. But if you're looking for universal, quick, changing, ever evolving in the surf, it's a damn good rig for it.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. It's naked.
That distance, when you put it around, keeps it off the main. If you make a little bitty one, it gets tangled up. You make it an inch long, it stays off your main. I don't know why all the offshore guys aren't using the Mortician rig.
I did.
Wild.
I dropped it for Mingos, and I dropped it for some other things off on some of the wrecks.
And the commercial guys are going to start using it more too. After that's something that you and I were talking about. You heard commercials are starting to.
Yeah.
You save your weights. You save all your stuff. It's amazing. It's the Mortician. If you guys ever met me, I'm a big guy. The Mortician makes me look little. He's got big paws. He's actually a mortician. He's got huge monster hands. Oh, he's a huge man. He's a huge man. His shoulders as wide as he is tall, I think. He's a big dude. Yeah, awesome guy.
Well, we're caught up on questions
Genius.
now. It looks like we got everything there. So
nice.
Where are we rolling now? Where are we at?
What you got new coming out?
This one.
Because
I wasn't going to share this.
We're rolling for 1 hour.
Oh, that thing.
So this will be up at the end of the weekend. This has the ability to, it has a drill bit on one side, and these will retail at $6, pretty cheap. Oh, wow. It has a little, where's my,
over. There you go.
There you go. It has a hook, and it's actually got, this is mine. It has maybe I put it on my forehead, you can see it. Nope. But it has a hook on it. It's just for crochet. It's a crochet hook, but I pulled the crochet hook, the little flapper off.
Yeah.
What I do is when I'm making rigs, especially, and this is for everybody that has trouble seeing and has bought a pill float.
Yeah. And trying to weave it on there.
Look at that. Boom.
Ooh.
And now all of a sudden, all you have to do is hook it and slide it on, and it's already on, and boom. Now I'm, that didn't work. You still have to be able to see, but I slide it on, boom.
There you go.
And I take that off and just go around it, and I got a lot of stuff hanging on this thing. Go around it, and now I've already got my everything on. Boom.
Look at that.
How quick that was. I didn't even have to look. I mean, really.
Yeah.
But these will be $6, $5.99 on the Sync guy. That's awesome. One thing. I think a lot of us. We have one more pompano.
Oh, nice.
God, that's a multi-tool. Yep. The difference is up top. Yeah, this is a multi-tool. Up top, right here, there are five. Five little dorsal fins, and that's how many a pompano has. A permit has six. Look at my eyes. Mm-hmm. There we are. So this is a multi-tool. Open your any beverage of choice. You got an angle. If you fish an Abu Garcia or any other reel, you can actually fix your reel right on the beach. It's got a line cutter right here if you need to cut your line. It's got a screwdriver. Pretty sweet. There will be more of these. I'll just tell you, this one is amazing because I love catching pompano. And if anybody's ever fished with me, pompano, no. We know what it sounds like, baby.
Yeah, buddy.
And that's and we scream it when we catching them because everybody should know that there's pompano in the surf. But we don't. We should have a flag. We just start screaming. And if you ever fish with me, you get two things. You get the pompano, and the other one's the big bear. If you that's me screaming at the pelicans, just out of random, because I don't like them in my line. Everybody's like, "Whoa, what happened?" Right, Brian?
Yep.
That's Barry's favorite. That's Barry's favorite. The big bear comes out.
Get up, pelican! Get up! Get out of here! You got some good comments after that, man. People got some minds blown. Justin, I don't know who's whispering. I think I've been muting my mic. Hopefully, you're not hearing me in the background doing my brain loss there. Whole setup shock leader, 10 turns. Oh wow. Oh, are you using conventional or are you using
spinning
or spinner there? That's a good question. Hey, Travis, I use PC funds too. I like them. I'll be the first one to say they're not bad reels.
Yeah, Carl, Jack just ordered one too.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Nice. The flame?
No, not the carbon.
Oh, the carbon. Carbon.
No. It's a little green one. I forget the name of it.
That's the Viper.
Viper. There you go. Viper. That's what he got.
God, I know their reels. I should know them.
Now
it's like this.
It's a good whiting
stays in his pocket. It is. It's a great reel. Barry, one of the best things to see. Chip, yes, it is. It is going to be. And you heard when's it going on the website?
It'll probably go up tomorrow.
Oh, don't wake up in the morning and go there. Pier Talk, we will get on the Pier Talk for sure. And it's Cliff. Yes, Cliff, you are. That's right. Because you're on Panhandle Surf Fishing. I saw you. That you're the one how I figured out that Panhandle Surf Fishing is not reading through the names proper at all.
Gotcha.
And switch from Shimano. Good stuff there. And Rob's on that side as well. Yeah, we'll have to take that
Good
off.
stuff.
Okay, so where are we at here? We got those ones. So we got the new equipment. We've got a crap ton of knowledge that you all have been drinking.
I hope everybody was writing. Writing down.
I can rewatch it too.
I'm sure your brain's just kind of all over the place right now with all of that just got dropped.
It's funny. I just call this Monday when I'm talking to Chip.
Right. I know.
Just start writing. Just start writing.
Yeah.
There's a lot more stuff. I just if we had more time, I would share more. But
we can go for 3 hours.
Well, that just means we got to bring you back on again sometime.
Well, we would love it, man. We love sharing secrets and tricks, and I will tell you that. Well, one thing before.
Send it.
This is going to be this is a pro tip. If you're not having a lot of luck with 2 floats, take one off. Leave one on the top. One on the bottom doesn't really matter. If you take the one on the top off, you're not going to have any more success or less success. But if you remove the one on the bottom, you'll have more success versus or the same success. But if you have one on top, it's going to be the indicator. The fish will see it. If you're using one of these, if you're using a big bullet float, you're using and fish the bottom side naked, see what you got. And naked can mean fish bite, and or fish gum, whatever that you choose. But naked doesn't mean it has to be just fresh bait, just its thing, and that makes a big difference sometimes where it just less is more. You can catch more. So be able to switch it up. Be willing to switch it up. Put an orange on the top instead of an orange on the bottom, like I told my dad with the Bruno rig. Put it on the top. The yellow's hot right now in the surf. In the spring, I use the multicolors, white, yellows, white, pinks, solids right now. That's my little tidbit of information that will help people make some determinations. And with the floats beads, play with the top, don't play with the bottom. That didn't sound very good.
No, I didn't, but we know what you meant. Phrasing.
Michael, this comment right here, I mean, this one really embodies it right here. I wasn't catching anything. Toothy critter took the bottom float and hook, sent it back out with a float and it worked. That's the biggest piece of this fishing is adjust on the fly. I mean, you have to be able to do that. I am one that I'll admit it. I've said it in my podcast. I've said it on other ones. Tony's seen it. A lot of times I fish with a notebook. If I'm not using a notebook, I've got my notes going on my phone. So I know what rod won, where it went, what's on it, what float, what this, all those pieces. And I've gotten a little bit better at it, but keeping copious notes like that for a journal for yourself, especially if you're going to get into this so heavily, so much, and you want to get better, notes are only going to help you. That's all it's going to do. So take notes, get better on that, move this off, take that one on the fly, just have at it, man.
Yeah, it's funny when you see Brian and he's sitting there after he baits up, he goes pink and white top, crab, sand flea, and he's talking into his phone. He goes to the next rod. Okay, this, and he's sitting there recording everything. But you're right. Yeah, it does nothing but pay off later. So knowing which you
and I'm still not good at fishing, which is crap. Chip froze. Oh, there he is.
So how about now? I start with a sand flea on the top, clam on the bottom, and I find out what's working. And I don't use sand fleas. Most of you know that. I don't use sand fleas. I have sand fleas. I can catch them. Just not very good with it. I was always hooking all the way through the flea. I need to do a video on how to actually hook a flea. Your bite ratio goes up about 90%. I learned this from Spencer Brogdon. If you hook it all the way through, they eat the bait. If you hook it just through the shell, you 90% hookup ratio, better. But I always put a sand flea fish bite on the top, a clam on the bottom, and then I'm fishing. And then I will join it with fresh bait, shrimp on the Bruno rig. I don't fish a lot of shrimp because I hate catfish and I hate stingrays. They waste my time. I don't eat them. So I would eat a sail cat, but I'm not eating. That's not what I'm targeting.
Right.
But with that being said, that's where I start. That's where I always start. And then double, naked, crab knuckles, baby. Let's go.
There you go.
Fast, easier on the beach. You know, the knucks work. So
hell yeah, they do. Crab knuckles are awesome. No complaint ever on that one. What do we want to do here? We've got only a couple more questions, or do we need to push?
Yeah, just, let's push. I got a couple questions, but Barry, you brought up a point. Keep a log of wind, water conditions, wave height, all that stuff. There's an app out there called Fishing Points. That'll log. There's a lot of good ones out there, but that one will log. If you log a catch, it'll save all that data for you on the day when you get out there. Again, there's lots of apps that do that, but Fishing Points is one that definitely you just have to remember to log your catch. That's what that's the hardest part for me is remembering to go back and do that. And but then it'll save all that data for you, so you can have a historical notebook, if you will, to go back and look at and compare year to year.
Mm-hmm. And Travis, to answer your question, that would be https://thesinkerguy.com. Oh, yep. Justin, don't talk. We don't talk about the Oracle. We don't talk about Reno, and we don't talk about the Oracle.
Yeah.
The Oracle put us on those fish.
Yeah.
We just had to find them. Amazing every time.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amelia Island bait and tackle. Nice. That app is great. Yeah. Fishing Points is a pretty good one. Get your weather forecast, see what else is going on, and then it'll save all that stuff for you. Get Chip's bait thread, magic thread, and its stick. Yeah. Magic thread has been especially if you're fishing softer baits.
Go shrimp.
To me, yeah, go shrimp. It's a necessity. A lot of other stuff. So I'm sure he's got some back there. Yeah, look at that.
Hey, there it is.
So the difference between ours and the others is when you buy it at Walmart or whatever, it's so thick that it just eats right through all your stuff. This is a 1/2 of the size of the other. You see how limber it is? And that's why we got this one, because it's easier. It doesn't have a big package that says bait thread. It's all made in the same manufacturing. But I wanted the smaller so you can wrap it easy and you don't tear through your ghost shrimp. You don't tear through your regular shrimp. And you can actually lash your crab knuckles on there when the little pinfish are eating them up. Lash it, keep that meat in there until that pompano comes and finds it. So
nice.
We do a lot of, just like our sinkers. When we first started the sinker, the whole of the sinker, this was small, really small, super small.
I still have them.
And the old guys are like, why don't you just make that thing bigger? And I'm like, great point. Okay,
yeah,
I'll make
why
it
don't
bigger.
I?
Yeah, so I did, right? So just like with the bait thread, I would like cut through my regular shrimp. I'm like, this stuff is terrible. So I just went and got it a little bit better. Sorry for the information overload.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's again, that's why we do it, is to get the information out there to make folks better fishermen, anglers out there across the board.
Absolutely.
And get what we need to do. Man,
no, don't apologize, please. It's been a great night. And it's always fun talking with you, man. I mean, you've always got so much stuff and great information, not to mention on your YouTube channel. You put it out on your lives too when you're doing that. So if you guys aren't following the Sinker Guy, make sure you're heading him up on all social media platforms. You will not be sorry, especially get notified when he goes live, because there's always something going on with that.
We will be live.
I'm getting fireworks over here. Sorry.
All right.
We're going to be live in Georgia here soon.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you going back up?
Yeah. You going to go get some big redfish?
Big redfish, baby. It's
nice.
Yeah.
Good
None
stuff.
of that friggin' full moon stuff. That'll be good. Right. I look forward to seeing you on that one. That'll be some good catches.
Yes, sir.
Well, brother, this has been educational. We've loved having you on there. Appreciate you coming on here and sharing your knowledge with everyone. Again, Brian said, put it out there. If you guys want to go find product, all that good stuff, go check out thesinkerguy.com for all the products he's got out there, and then follow him on social media as well. Tons of knowledge out there to get you going and get you catching fish in the surf.
We love you guys, and we love this show, baby.
Awesome, brother. Appreciate it. We'll be.
My wife and I love watching it on Friday night, baby.
I'd love to hear it, man. Awesome. We'll be in touch, brother. Appreciate you coming on tonight. Stay safe over there. Later.
You got it.
See you, Chip.
Great show.
I know.
A lot of knowledge.
That was a ton of great stuff, dude. And everybody, all of a sudden, everybody's like, you guys suck. Keep them on. No, we still have stuff we have to celebrate, too. We got a lot of catches to talk about. We still have the Panhandle scroll to go through. We still have all of that fun. So let's go ahead and jump into this one. Let's talk the week of fishing. So you've gone out. You have been getting some. What you got?
Yeah, we went out. We went a couple times this week after watching Jack Moran's thing on sheephead fishing. We were like, we got to go catch some sheephead. So we linked up with Beach Buzz. If you guys aren't following his channel, that's another good informative channel. But we went out. It's still a little too warm. Water temperature was like 76. We went right about where Jack Moran was in his video. He went left. No, he went right. We went left. Should have gone the other way. But it's just that wasn't a good day. And then you, me, and Justin Reed got out. If you guys haven't seen that video, Justin Reed fishing, we went out and had a great day out in the bay, Pensacola Bay, running around catching fish. GI jig was on fire. Light tackle was on fire. We caught redfish, mangrove snapper, white trout. It was just a good day of catching. A lot of pinfish though too. Good God, there's a lot of pinfish out there.
They weren't the great white pins either. It was just the jerk ones that want to say, "Oh, thanks for your shrimp. Have a great day, sir. Have a great day."
Absolutely. And then some monster catfish. We came up on an area where there was a lot of bait popping in the area, and we were throwing jigs. Justin was throwing his X wraps on top as Rapala there, and hooked into something that we thought was going to be a nice bluefish or a nice Spanish. Ended up being a monster sail cat. Still a fun fight, still fun to catch. I didn't want it on the boat, so Justin did a great job of not getting the slime everywhere and releasing. But like I said, if you haven't checked out that video, he's got it out there for everybody to go see. And then snapper weekend this weekend, 3-day weekend. So today, I know there was some stuff caught. I know we went out and had a quick weather window, went out and caught a couple keepers, and then the wind blew us back in. I know of another nice catch that was done. I'm going to wait for the video on that one, but it was a nice catch. And then we're going to go out in the morning and try to get some from the beach with Frisky Fins, James Pemberton, going out in the morning. So hopefully we can get on some nice fish. So
I think you will.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's been not a bad day. Yeah.
No, it was fun getting out there with you on that one. And then, being snapper weekend, I think this is our second to last one. We got Thanksgiving is going to be your next run, pretty much.
Yep, the 3-day weekend after Thanksgiving is going to be our next red snapper date. So,
all right,
getting stuff in there. All right, well, question of the week.
Ooh, this is going to be a good one.
This is a good one. So this one I got inspired by when I was cleaning the red snapper today, and something poked my finger, and I was like, "What the hell was that?" I was pulling the stomach out so I could see what they've been eating because I want to kind of dial in the game so I don't have to take a plethora of bait out there. But anyway, it was a hook in the gullet of this fish about a number 2.
Come on.
I don't, it's on my phone.
I'll get it. Hold on. I'll get it.
Yeah. Brian will grab it. But yeah, I filleted it, poked me in the finger. I was like, oh, damn it. So question of the week, what's the strangest thing that you found while cleaning a fish? We want to know. Those are, did you bring it up? You got it? What's happening here? What we got going on? Trying to bring it up. Oh, here he goes. Yeah, so there it is. There's that.
I muted my mic.
Yeah. I was like, what happened? That little guy right there. Signal. So the eye of the hook was gone, but the hook was still in there. And that was just sitting in there in the belly of the fish. So one fish had a big chunk of cut bait that he had munched on. So nice. And then the other fish had an empty stomach, but that hook was in there. So yeah, those are gonna be good tomorrow night. We're gonna have cook those up tomorrow night. Oh, somebody caught a mirror lure in a red drum.
What?
Very nice. Caught a red drum and it had a mirror lure. Like, was the mirror lure in the stomach or was it still hooked on the fish? I'd like to know that one. That'd be pretty cool.
I don't know if
Carl,
Justin put it in his video. Oh, go ahead.
2 hooks in the mouth of a Spanish I caught. He didn't learn his lesson the first time. No. They get hungry, man.
They do. Yeah. I ended up using some throw up from one of our catches on when we were out with Smitty. I rehooked it and threw it right back out. Sure enough, caught another fish. The damn pinfish. Still caught one.
Okra cook. No, in its belly. Oh, so wow. So red drum took that thing down, and then you were cleaning it stuff. That's awesome. I mean, it's amazing what those things eat. With a 2-pound speckled trout stuck in its throat. Yeah, that's I had a nice crappie on one time, and I was bringing it up to the boat, and the mouth of the bass that was coming up to eat that crappie, I can only imagine like 10 plus pounds probably. Because the crappie was pretty big. I mean, he was like this, and that bass, that mouth came open, and he was just coming up after that thing. Yeah, that a 2-pound speck stuck in the throat. I could see that happening.
Was it already filleted? Just wondering.
The speckled trout. Good stuff. Yeah, you find some weird things. If you, I don't know how many people do this. I know a lot of people do, but like when you do get a catch, the first thing I do is gut it to see what they've been eating on, and to see like I want to see the stomach contents, so it helps me the next time I go out.
Yeah, I mean that's like the anatomy piece is so big. I mean, the toothy critters you're catching, you're catching other fish in there and you're going to find in there. But, the pompano, I want to know, are you eating coquinas? Are you eating crabs? I mean, crab knuckles is one of my favorite things to find, where I'll find a piece of crab in there. Maybe I'll find a small ghost shrimp. But that piece, well, you're already there. You've already cut it. Figure it out, because it's just free intel. I mean, you're going to go back out. Don't miss out on that one free opportunity.
Absolutely. I'm scrolling back up because somebody said they had a 6-ounce sinker in there too.
Yeah, it's
Andy.
It was Andy. they were egg sinkers. Yep, there's Tom.
Yeah. There you go.
It's weird how they just eat those. I don't know what happened. The rest of the line just kind of disappeared. So strange.
I was a little slow on that one. Now I get it.
Apparently. All right, let's move into our fishing report, everybody. So this fishing report has been brought to you by Rogue Reels Fishing. Use code ROGUE15. That's ROGUE15 to save 15% on your order. Rogue Reels is making quality hand-tied fishing leaders with the Smitty rig at 20-foot, 500-pound class deployment shark leader, and the Demo rig, a HD double drop rig. Go check them out at Rogue Reels Fishing. That's reels with a Z.com, and you can get yourself all set up through there. All right, Smitty, you got it for the offshore. What you got?
Offshore report. It has been slow. The wind coming in has made things pretty slow. It's still getting a good bonita and Spanish bite in close. That's about the only thing that's going. Once this wind dies down, I'm sure we're going to get back out there and get some more stuff happening on the offshore bite. But offshore right now with the strong wind, I mean, tomorrow is supposed to be rough, and then Monday into Tuesday is going to be bad. Tuesday into Wednesday should clear up a little bit. Light winds. We'll get that when we hit the weather here in just a second. Or did we skip that? No, when we get to the weather here in just a second, it's going to be rough for a majority of the week. We will get a small break, but offshore has been kind of tough.
I always hate it when I hear the offshore's rough. I don't know why it bothers me, but it does. All right, going into the inshore, the mangrove bite is still good. We are seeing them. We caught them, and they are still here. We were catching them on shrimp. We were catching them on a few different things, but get after it there. But live bait will be key. Definitely get yourself still set up with live bait. Whether you're using minnows, small pinfish, live shrimp, all of that works out really well. Red bite is starting to pick up. We were catching them around the flats. I went out with E6 inshore fishing. We went and did a tournament, and we were catching them right in the grass flats. You got to throw it in there and be tight. Be very, very tight with your fishing, but you can get them on that one. Pensacola Bay, I wouldn't be surprised. We start seeing some really good ones here real soon. Lots of reports coming out of bulls over in Destin and Choctawhatchee Bay, so keep rolling that. It is still warm for Sheepshead. We were just talking about that, but they are starting to move. If you were, I would recommend going back to last week's episode with Jack Moran. Get the intel that he was sharing. to get yourself set up for success for the sheepies. They are coming. We know the weather's going to keep going, but keep an eye on that water temperature. That is going to be key.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I got it all.
Yeah,
your turn.
You got it. Surf report. Believe it or not, we have June grass blooms going on right now. That green, slimy, nasty stuff that comes in the summer, we got it right now. The water temp was down to 71. We were out there today in the bay. So it's still kind of warm for this time of year, but I can't believe it's pretty much got the surf fishing shut down. However, you can still find pockets of clean water up close, and majority of your areas are going to be closer to the pass where you have moving water coming in and out. That's going to be your cleaner water happening in there. But there are fishable spots. You just got to get out there and find them.
And out in the piers have been very quiet lately for some reason. I don't know why, but the main story about a pier is bait. Get out there, load up on the freezer with the cigar minnows, small brew runners, jacks. Okaloosa Pier has been holding most of the schools. Navarre Pier has been reporting fish that we will not talk about because I do not wish to die. So you can go ahead and do your own research and figure that out, what they're having. Yeah, just say that one. But the piers are starting to heat up pretty well. So head on out there, get yourself set up. Either be targeting a specific species or have a couple rods ready. I don't think you were going to want to go out there for an anything catch right now. I think you're going to want to be specific on your targeting.
Yeah, absolutely. But I definitely would go out there and load up on bait. Cigar minnows around Okaloosa. We went out there Thursday, and we caught probably about 24 or so in about an hour. Our sabikis were a little big. We were using a larger size. I think if we had some smaller, probably number 8s or smaller, we'd have done pretty good. But the bait is so thick down there. I mean, yeah, you get out there and load up your freezer right now. That's the time to go out and do it.
In reality, this is the perfect time anyway because winter's coming. Oh, I can't believe.
Right.
Yes, a Game of Thrones pun. Yes.
All right. Come on now, share my screen. Actual weather report. Chrome tab. Here we go. Weather. Yeah, like I said, wind's going to be howling tomorrow. We got West 13, which is going to make the beach fishing trip kind of tough, but we should be able to get something. Sunday is coming out of the north, so fishing the beach. Hopefully, it's going to blow that June grass out of here. So your surf reports, surf fishing should be pretty good, and some of the inshore, as we know, strong north winds like that make it kind of rough on the offshore. Monday going in east at 8 won't be too bad. Southwest, but we got rain coming in on Tuesday. This is what I like to see, dropping into the 30s because I want the water to get colder. I want those big redfish to start coming into the bay. I want those things starting to move to get in some of them. We need that water temperature to come down a little bit more. But lows 38, 37, 41, and highs in the 60s, 50s, and 60s. So that's going to bring our water temps down and hopefully get those big bulls moving. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Window weather.
Yeah. Yeah, blue flannel rather.
Blue flannel coming into the party real quick. All right, going into the fun stuff with the wind. I am going to do the scroll. So as you can see, we're kind of pinned up right there. But as you can see right now, that cell with all the hurricane has moved up. We got wind changing here. Right now we're at 13 knots going into the Friday evening time. Moving on into Saturday, the winds are still coming right at your face. This front here is going to give us a bit of a pain in the ass. So be ready for that. As you can see, 16 on Saturday midday, 15 still coming off the back, but that's crossing over. Even winds even worse, and we know nighttime winds is never good. Sunday 9 o'clock in the morning, 15 knot winds coming from the north. You can cast it a country mile, and that's good times. Except it's not, because you've got a whole bunch of other things you're going to have to contend with. So Monday switching in, and as you can see, it calms down a little bit there. But again, keep in mind, look at these weather cells. That's one thing I love about windy coming out on the big one. You get the idea of how the wind's moving, where they're shifting, where they're going. So this cell is going to play havoc in some not fun things into next week. So be ready for that. That's the one big piece with that. And then backing it up here into the waves, back to here. There we go. Running. This marks a couple miles offshore, not too far. But as you can see, 3 footers, 2 footers, 4 second spacing. That's not too bad. But if you were looking at getting out on the kayak this weekend, yeah, I wouldn't personally, but that's just me. I err on the side of caution. 3-footers, 4-footers increasing on Sunday, and then we're going to get that north wind, and that's going to do a nice little punch down, but don't expect much. As you see, we're only losing a couple of bit there. So again, weekend weather, high winds. So be ready for that and just be cautious when you're going out. You don't want to be stuck into a bad situation there.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it smartly. We want everybody to return back with us next week to enjoy the show.
Andy sent you a question.
Yeah, I saw that. I was getting ready to pull some up. So I fish a couple different things, Andy, if I'm targeting redfish. One, Donnie, I see answered down here. Check out Rogue Reel's drum rig. That's an awesome setup.
Yeah, both of those.
Or the longest cast or fishing rig for red drum. I also tie a fish finder rig, like I said earlier in the show, with a sliding sinker mount on there, and I put a 4-ounce sinker guy Sputnik down there and a 5 to 7/0 hook for big piece of cut bait. I'll use either a cut up ladyfish, or I'll use mullet. Mullet head seems to be worked pretty good. Not the big mullet. You need one about 12 to 13 inches, right in that range. Slice the head, use that, send that out there with a little bit of the belly meat behind it. Works pretty good.
Yeah.
Especially around here. Yeah.
Travis, yeah, that'll work just fine. Travis, Carolina rig does just fine here. Biggest thing is being waves action. One of the biggest ones I'll say with reds here for me that I've noticed, I catch more reds in the choppy white stuff. I'm really jumping in on that one. I'm in the surf when it's churning up. Most of the reds I see are always up close within the first 50, 60 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So mainline, Alex on there from True Braids asking, mainline, I use the 20 to 30 pound on my rigs, because I'm using my same surf rigs that I use to send it out. I'm not switching it up just because I'm targeting redfish. I'll just adjust the drag as needed. And then the leader, I like to use right around 40 pound leader if I'm sending it out there. I do have some other stuff that's made up like a single drop on 50 pound leader, and it has a big cutlass float. It's about that tall. Green cutlass float that suspends my bait that I'll use for redfish too. Another little secret there.
It's a good secret to use.
All sorts of knowledge bombs being dropped. I told y'all, and when I was putting it out in all the groups, man, this will be a knowledge bomb type episode.
All right, let's get into the Panhandle Scroll. The Panhandle Scroll for tonight is being brought to you by Waterland Sunglasses. Use code SSF for 15% off at Waterland Sunglasses. Smitty talks about them every time. He loves them. So let's see that scroll, sir. Let me see what you got.
I don't have much this week. There is big news coming November 15th for those in the Gulf of Mexico. Lane snapper season will be closed.
Cerrado?
Yeah, right. Commercial and recreational harvest of lane snapper in the Gulf of Mexico federal waters will close at 12:01. Commercial and recreational harvest reopen January 1st. Snapper Gulf of Mexico federal waters, so beyond 9 miles. So if you get them within 9 miles, you're good.
I mean, I'm not going out that far.
No recreational commercial fishing may keep or lane snapper after 12:01 on November 15th during the commercial and recreational closure. It just says federal waters, so. Oh, hang on.
I thought federal
prohibited or prevention Gulf lane snapper also applies to state waters as well. Okay. Anyway, so no more lane snapper. They did this last year too, and close that. They did this last year, and they ended up reversing it like right after they came out with it. Big sheephead catch. I know we were saying it's too warm yet, but over in Mobile, Philip here, he got him a nice bag limit of and it looks like a black drum too, of sheepies and a nice redfish in the kayak. Looks like using fiddler crabs for bait, getting out there on the kayak and tearing them up. Looks like he also uses some blue crab out there. So and this is another good group, Average Joe Gulf Coast Fishing. Yeah, out there. And this one for you slow pitch guys, I saw this one today and I was like, Dude, that looks pretty good. It's 120 gram slow jig combo, white pearl, and look at that octopus assist hook. That's pretty smart.
Yeah,
that looks pretty good.
I mean, if you're gonna have all that fabric there, you might as well throw something on that's gonna be.
I know, right?
An extra bit.
Absolutely. Great looking jig there. So go check them out. Slow pitch jigging, man, it's just it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. Not as detailed as Jack, but Jack loves it. But I just like getting out there, and it keeps the stuff going. What did Rob Foster have to say? I've been making a 200-pound mono red rig for Brian Curlett, which might be coming to the website this year. Oh, nice.
And Brian's been killing the reds over there. He's been after it.
Yeah. Cutlass float? Yes. Oh, are you asking what a cutlass float is, Alex? It's the big, like, pearl-shaped one. I guess is the best way to describe it.
Like the cutlass sword. You got the heart, you got the arch, and then the flat, and then the open on the bottom.
I was looking to see if I had one sitting here, but I don't.
Let me see here.
Anyway.
As usual, my computer did its normal jackassery. So
nice.
Jordan, as usual, getting on the fishies because Jordan just gets on the fish. That's what he does. So if you're not following Jordan, you're missing out. He's definitely been getting some really good ones lately. Where we are. Let's see if we can just get away with it that way tonight. Bon Secours. If you guys haven't taken a look at this, he's got a tournament coming up here pretty soon, actually, if you're interested. But he's been having some fun. Got out there with some 15-pound true braid, and he just got into the Alberto knot, which I actually had to look up, which is kind of cool.
But I love that one. I on everything.
I recognize this combo because I have this combo. So great little nice little specky there. Never a bad day to catch speckies. Love little trouts. Sean, that is, I mean, he's got his arms out, but in reality, that's a good size whiting. I mean, that is not a tiny whiting.
I'm sorry. I was looking at some. Oh no, that's a nice.
No,
one.
You're good. You're good. Where am I?
I was bringing up the cutlass float so I can show it.
Okay.
It kind of looks like that. That's a teardrop, but a cutlass would be more
cuts
flat
off right
and wider. There. Yeah.
Luckiest angler getting out some with his. Now, this is something Chip was talking about, and I'm about 90% sure. I think he's still in the green room watching. I can't tell. Oh, no, he's not. Okay. So when Chip was talking about this, one of the things that I do, and I don't know if you do, Mike, when I hook my sand flea, I get just
a tip.
I'm gonna say it. Just the tip out of the shell. I leave the barb still in the body, and that is for a couple of reasons. One, when I throw it, it's not going to fly off on me, but it's holding it in position. And when they hook on, we know that they crunch down. It's going to crunch, and he's going to grab it in his lip. That's been working for me for a while. I just don't rip them off as much when I do that hook setup. That's just me. Where are you? Oh, congratulations out to somebody. Come on, Bun.
Yeah, Bun. 300. Yeah.
Congratulations, Bun. I had a couple of your posts up. For some reason, they're not saved in this file, and I don't know why, but congratulations on making it 300 followers. Bun, if you guys haven't followed it, Bun is a flounder ninja, extraordinaire, amazing angler. And if you haven't been to any of his wonderful poke bowl places, you're missing out because it's delicious.
Yeah.
It may be
good stuff.
Taking you over here for a second. So if you're in Florida, or anyway, actually it's just the internet, Fresh from Florida, they do recipes all the time. And I have got a couple that I've got coming up, but I mean, spinach stuffed flounder, which I was like, well, that's kind of a jerk move considering I can't catch flounder right now. But
yeah, I know. Season's closed, by the way.
Yep, it's still closed. Sorry, everybody. But a great recipe right here to go ahead and get going. But they break it all the way down on how to help you do it. They got the videos and all that one. And for all of you loving all the crustaceans, also known as lobster, here you go. A little bit of spiny lobster, tomato mac and cheese. I mean, Thanksgiving is coming up, and that could count for Thanksgiving, in my opinion. That is unfortunately all I had for the scroll because for some ungodly reason, my stuff magically disappeared again.
Well, it's been a overall slow week of fishing. There was I don't know if you're talking about that. What was caught on in the VARP here?
I'm not talking about it. No. No. I've got enough targets on my back. I don't need another one.
Gotcha. We won't talk about that. But if you're following social media, you saw what was caught.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And if you scroll through the comments, you'll see that Donnie may have made a comment, and Donnie can take it. I don't need it.
Awesome. Well, that was, like we said at the very beginning, get your notepads ready because there was going to be a lot of knowledge dropped on this one, and it definitely did not disappoint. Next week, we're going to have Mr. Tony Fagioni from Fish Gum with us talking about the whole runt rod craze. I said it so many times, I've incorporated it into my charters now that if you don't have a runt rod with you out there on the beach to catch whiting and target whiting while you're pompano fishing, you are definitely missing out. And not only that, it'll force you. Well, you know what? We're gonna talk about that next week. I don't want to go any more into that, but it's going to force you to do some things that you wouldn't normally do. So we'll talk about all of those next week as we get in there. So we can't wait to have Tony on here. It's going to be cool. All right, that was good. That was a good show.
It was. Donnie, don't worry. Frank already took care of it. Frank's here local. He just put the target on his back. I'm good. You're good. You did just say sushi. You're safe.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, it's been great seeing you. Don't forget to share this out. This always every week. Same show, same time. All the good stuff that's going to be happening. If you liked this setup, the way we're doing this, please send us a message. Let us know if this format's working for you or how you'd like for us to do it. If you're interested in sponsoring the show, reach out to Mike and I. We will happily talk to you about sponsorship opportunities. We are going to be expanding quite a few things on that. Stay tuned for more on that. But other than that, it's been damn good seeing you guys. Look forward to seeing you
Absolutely.
Next week.
Absolutely. Appreciate everybody sticking around. Until next week.
Crank it up.
There we go. Wake Brad up if he's still on. All right, folks. Till next week. We'll see you later.